Joining me today is Eileen Kean, who is the State Director for the National Federation of Independent Businesses. So Eileen, thanks for being here today.
Regina, thank you so much for having me.
So I'm familiar with NFIB, but many of our audience might not be. Eileen, could you just give us a thumbnail on who the organization is?
Yes, NFIB is the National Federation of Independent Businesses. And not only are we the largest association in Washington, D.C., lobbying for small businesses, but also the largest small business organization in New Jersey. Typically, membership is under 10 employees, although we do have members who exceed that, but certainly that's about our average, a 10-employee firm.
And roughly, how many of that size businesses are in the state of New Jersey?
Oh, over 150,000. We are every main street in New Jersey.
Wow.
Think about it. Think of who you see. You see the dry cleaners, you see the florists, you see the print shops, the bakeries, the bars, the restaurants. We are everybody.
So I would think a particularly difficult couple of years as we come through and out of the pandemic. And has your membership done okay? And how are they doing?
Extremely difficult times. And I suppose you might say the irony of the situation is our membership has grown dramatically since the pandemic. And I'd like to think that's because small business owners they need a voice, and they have to go somewhere to be heard about the concerns they're facing every day.
Well, those concerns, I'm sure, are on your mind today. We're in Trenton, and all things budget are under discussion. And I know that there's been a lot of work to try to continue to support the small businesses in the state, again, coming through and out of the pandemic. And do I remember right, the employment levels, more people are employed in small businesses than large corporations in New Jersey, is that correct?
That is correct. Again, small businesses drive the economy of New Jersey. And sadly, I also think that they are the forgotten component of the New Jersey economy. The governor talked today about the property tax relief that is to be implemented further, and that he's putting more money into property tax relief. But guess what? There's never property tax relief for small businesses. They're not part of the equation. And certainly they own businesses on every main street that we visit.
Yeah, well, let's talk more about the budget now that we're here. In terms of your expectations, what are you listening for? What did you listen for in the budget?
Certainly no new taxes, and that considering how the budget has grown almost last year, it was $20 billion more than during the last administration. We've got to come up with some way to curb the spending, to curb what it costs to do business in New Jersey. So the CBT tax, okay, it doesn't impact directly small businesses, most likely, but there's always a chain reaction. Any new tax does impact not only businesses, it impacts every consumer, because where does the extra money come from? It comes from the cost of doing business for the small guy, for the cost of buying goods and services.
Right, and there are a lot of what I use the term adjacent, right, small businesses that support larger companies, that are suppliers to them or, customers of them. And if, to the extent that they become less interested in New Jersey, that has, as you say, a downhill impact, right? On the
Certainly. I think during the pandemic, one of the best examples I heard was a fitness center. The fitness center paid this member of NFIB $170,000 a year to do their towels. And obviously for this laundry service, that was just one of their clients. But when you lose $170,000 and you multiply it by how many other contracts you lost, very significant. So there's always the downside effect. It's not just the big business, it's the ancillary businesses, yes.
Now, you made the point before that the new transit-related CBT tax that is coming in the discussion, that it's 10 million and above, that for companies that make 10 million or more in the state. But actually, I spent some time talking to another business leader, and they were saying that the amount of revenue that's expected to be generated by that tax doesn't actually close the gap for transit anyway. So we're not really solving the problem. And the likelihood is that not likelihood, but the prediction was that 10 will become 5, and 5 will become 3, and 3 will become 1, and we're right back where we started from. Are you worried about the same thing?
I am worried about the same thing, and it's just amazing that we were celebrating the fact that the New Jersey with the highest CBT tax in the country, that it sunset December 31st. And here we are 2 months later, and it's back on the table to increase it. Another tax that has me very concerned is the proposal to charge a fee on trucks leaving warehouses. And NFIB, our membership, being able to sell on places like Amazon is essential. That's, for so many businesses, that's such an important part of how they make a profit. So again, it's the chain reaction. You have this idea that, oh, it's just a couple of dollars, the tax, but where does it end? What's a warehouse? How do we even collect it? So it's a little bizarre.
Yeah, it's very reactionary, because I'm sure some of it is reacting to neighborhoods, right, that had not anticipated some of the truck traffic, I would think, as well as a revenue opportunity. And it seems like there isn't quite the, symbiotic relationship that you'd hope for between the government and business community in terms of mutual planning, right? Where we want to have warehouses or places where we can find a way for the transportation system to not interfere with the local community. But I mean, I guess what's your view? Like, how collaborative do you see this administration with the business community?
I don't see them as having been overly collaborative. I think the call that was provided to the business community to even talk about what was in the budget was so far above and without any real substance that it was a bit disappointing. Personally, I think so much of this, there's too many trucks on the highway, so many of the local issues can be resolved if the local officials simply talked to the folks running the warehouses and just had hometown discussions as, hey, what can we do to make it better for you? What can we do to make it better for you? I think the next tax, and this is just a prediction I'm making, is the gasoline tax. There's going to be a change to that formula, and something will happen to impact all drivers, because we have to find a mechanism to support our highways and to improve the maintenance programs that we are providing in services right now.
Right, where you're kind of coming into the subject of the reauthorization, right, for the Transportation Trust Fund.
Exactly.
And that relates to the gas tax as well as just broadly, funding a lot of the infrastructure work. When you say you think there's going to be a change in the gas tax, what are you referencing, like such as?
Who knows? They might throw another nickel, another 10 cents on a gallon of gas, but I believe a change is coming.
But different formula.
Different formula,
and also,
as you were just alluding, yes.
Yeah. Well, and also there's also, of course, the introduction of electric vehicles. And there's as you know, kind of a lot of discussion about not just they don't buy gas, so therefore they're not paying the tax, but also the extra wear and tear, right, that they bring onto the roads because of their weight, as well as in parking garages. I mean, it's a really fascinating collateral impact of what everybody wants, which are renewable fuels, right? I mean, why wouldn't you want renewable fuels that don't create any emissions? But it has to be well planned, again, collaboratively.
It's got to be collaborative, and frankly, I'm tired of we have to move towards renewable. What we need to do is we have to start, the line needs to change. It has to be, we have to have a balanced type of energy program where we recognize the importance of gasoline, where we recognize the importance of gas itself to run our homes, that we can't count on just electric because New Jersey's electric grid can't handle just electric.
Yeah.
We need a balanced approach.
Yeah, well, we're seeing right at the federal level already, right, some withdrawing from some of the more extraordinary mandates that are out there.
Yes.
And that's hopefully that will flow down into the into New Jersey. So anything else from the budget perspective, Eileen, from NFIB, and that you're hoping to see called out in this budget?
Just listening to see how the year progresses, and from NFIB's perspective, we look forward to working with the legislature to perhaps try to get something in the budget that provides an opportunity for small businesses to further recognize how vital Main Street is to every little town in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, I come from a small town of like under 5,000 people, so I understand between the little downtown, and it's still there, and I love it.
Right.
And I hope it keeps going on.
Right.
Well, thanks, Eileen, for being with me today.
Regina, it was great to see you, and thanks for inviting me, and I look forward to working with you as the year progresses.